Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Daisy right here. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're beautifully welcome. And to all my oldies, thank you so much for coming back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the disadvantages of living in a country that speaks a totally different language from what you speak. Okay, so for example, I live in Brazil and Brazilians speak Portuguese, but I am a Nigerian and I speak English. So I'm going to be sharing with you one or two of my experiences that has been a disadvantage or disadvantages since living in Brazil. All right, so when we move to a country that speaks a different language from what we speak, the first thing we do is what? Learn the language, right? It is very important that the first thing you do when you go to a country that speaks a totally different language than what you speak is to learn the language. Okay, so now in my opinion, this is my opinion, you might have a different opinion. In my opinion, the primary reason we should learn the language of the new country that we live in or we have moved to is to show respect to that country. This is my opinion, okay? So the first thing is show respect to this country by first of all learning the language of this country. By doing so, you show the people that you are willing and very ready to be a part of them, and at the same time or in retaliation for you being so ready to learn the language, they are able to accept you easily into their lives. It makes it very easy for them to see that, oh, you're really willing to be a part of them, and it makes it easy for them to like accept you into their lives. Like the language binds, language binds people. Language unites people. Language makes people feel that they are the same. So by learning their language, you first of all show them respect, you show them willingness to be a part of them, and you help them and you encourage them. By you learning their language, it encourages them to be able to accept you, as part of them. So anyway, that is why I said, for me, the main and most important reason why we should learn the language of the new country we find ourselves into is to show respect. Learning their language means you're respecting them. Learning their language shows that you're willing to be a part of them. Learning their language means that you help them get encouraged enough to accept you as part of them. Do you understand? So that is what I think. You might have a contrary opinion. You might let me know what that is in the comment section below. Your opinions are absolutely beautifully, wonderfully welcome. Okay, so anyway, showing respect is number one. And number two reason we should learn the language of the new country we find ourselves in is to be able to integrate. Okay, integrating it means a whole lot when it comes to an immigrant's life. Okay, if you are not able or you're not willing to learn the language of the new country you find yourself in, it is going to be very difficult for people to listen to you, for you to be able to talk to other people, for people to even understand what you're saying, for people to see you as being willing to be part of them. It's definitely going to be very difficult. So learning that language helps you be able to integrate, communicate in anything that you do. It makes it super easy for you to be able to achieve that with the language that you've just learned. Okay, so that's the second reason. Don't forget that the first reason I said that it is important for you to learn the language of the new country you find yourself in is to show respect to that country. It is important to show respect to a country that has given you a home, that has given you a place to stay, that has welcomed you into their country, welcoming you into their lives, welcoming you into their whole culture and everything. The only thing you can do to pay them back is to respect them by learning their language. And by this way, it is easy for them to say, welcome, we love you too, and we want you to be a part of us. That encourages them, makes it easy for them to like accept you, embrace you, and relate with you on all levels. Okay, so now back to the disadvantages of you not facing some challenges. Okay, facing some challenges when you get to a country where you don't know anything about their language, you would definitely face challenges. That one is for sure. So you should be prepared to face challenges due to language, not because the people are bad, not because people are mean, not because people want to be rude, just because it is normal to face challenges when people don't know. When two people or more than two people communicate and they don't know what each other, you don't know what I'm saying, I don't know what you're saying, what happens? There is a conflict of understanding. There is a conflict of understanding. There is confusion on all levels. Okay, so it is expected to face certain problems if you don't understand people and people don't understand you. Okay, so that is where you will find yourself experiencing certain disadvantages that I don't know, that might not be so good, but you should prepare yourself to know that, yeah, I might face certain challenges along the way. As soon as you prepare yourself in that manner, whatever you experience along the way would not be a super story. Will not be a super story to you, because you have actually programmed yourself to say, yes, I don't understand these people's language, definitely I'm going to face challenges. Okay, so now it is very important that before you move to a country, now before I go on, I would like to say that this video or this message I'm passing actually relates to everyone living in different countries that speaks different languages than what they speak. Okay, it relates to everyone, but because I'm in Brazil today, I live in Brazil, I'm going to be sharing my experiences in Brazil, but it relates to everybody everywhere. Now before you move to a country that speaks a different language from what you speak, it is important. Okay, you have decided, I am moving to this country. Okay, this country speaks Dutch, this country speaks French, this country speaks Portuguese. It is important that the moment you made a decision to move to that country, you begin from your home country to start learning this language. You don't have to get to the country first before you start learning the language. Start from your home country the moment you have decided, or you decide to move to this new country that speaks a different language from what you speak. Start learning from home. Use YouTube, use Google, use language apps. There are so many ways you can learn these languages even before you arrive that country. That way you are familiar with certain words, certain sentences, phrases already before moving there. And when you move there, then it's easier for you to communicate. Okay, to communicate. The moment people realize, okay, you're a foreigner, but you're able to say one or two things, it's easy for people to listen to you. It's easy for people to even help you, even though they know you cannot really speak. But there's this thing there that's making you're speaking one or two here and there. They're able to help you because they can understand you to some extent. Okay, so start learning from home. The moment you tell yourself, I am going to so country, but they don't speak my language, start learning from home. Now getting to that country, you continue to learn the language. Find different ways you can continue learning the language. You can learn online, you can learn off, anyhow, learn the language. Now, some of the challenges you might face, okay, while living in the country, of course, number one is understanding. People are not able to understand you. You are not able to understand people. Even if people want to help you, they might not be able to help you because they don't understand you. And then even if they're trying to help you, you don't understand them. So language is very important in any situation, and it is important to learn so you are able to make things easier for yourself. Okay, now disadvantages. Let me share my experiences. Okay, some of my experiences. Now, when I came to this country, I was using translator. It's normal when you go to a different country, they don't speak your language. The first thing you want to do is use your translator all the time. Now, unfortunately, people get used to using translators. I don't know why they stick to using translators. They forget that it's important. Without a translator, you can actually yes, it's okay to use a translator, right? It's okay to use a translator, but at some point in your life, as long as you're willing to learn the language, you should begin to lose interest for translator at some point, so that you're free and you're able to speak without a translator. Because guess what, not everybody is willing to use the translator with you. That is the truth, especially in workplaces, and these are the places you will find you experiencing certain challenges, and a lot of disadvantages will come your way. People who do, people you find at workplaces, not everybody is willing to use the translator with you. Now and this is where the problem comes in. I'm going to say it's normal. There is no way you will get to a country you don't know their language that you will not use a translator. You are definitely going to use a translator. There is no way, because you don't understand what they're saying. They don't understand you. You need to use the translator in the beginning. Okay, I say beginning because there should be an end to using a translator. There should be an end. Okay, so a lot of people just go to people's countries, you don't understand the language, and then you want to be able to live there, dwell there, somehow get their permanent residency, get their citizenship. How is that done? You need to be a part of that country to achieve the same things the citizens are enjoying. work hard to know what they know, which is the language, to be able to be part of them. You cannot just get there and expect to get everything without even making an effort to learn their language. For crying out loud, you need to do this. A lot of people have been here 10 years, they can't even speak a word in Portuguese language, which is absolutely insane. It's a total disrespect to the country, to be honest, because to me, if I'm a country, I will feel disrespected. If I am a country, for example, I am Brazil, like I am Brazil, or I am United States of America. You travel to me as a country, and 10 years later, you still cannot speak hello, how are you? It's a total disrespect for me as a country. I'm not gonna, as in like, you should be able to say one or two, even if you're not clear. Nobody expects you to speak perfectly, right? Even if you're not clear, you are not perfect, you should be able to make a broken sentence. For example, me, I call my Portuguese speaking broken Portuguese. I speak very broken Portuguese, but I speak it with pride because it's not even easy to learn what I have learned. It's not easy to learn somebody else's language, a language you didn't grow up with. So I don't care how I speak it anyway. As long as you understand me, I understand you, I have spoken. Okay? And I'm not ashamed to speak anything that is wrong or right in Portuguese, as long as I'm able to relate my message across, and then you understand me, and then you communicate back, I'm fine. It's better than you not being able to speak anything. 5 years later, you speak nothing. I have a girl in my Portuguese class. She's been here for 5 years and she cannot even say anything. I know somebody else who has lived here for 10 years and cannot even say anything in the Portuguese language. This is a total disrespect to the country you're living in. 2-3 years later, you should begin to say something, even if not perfect. You should be able to be, start saying one or two things here and there. Okay? Now let's dive right back into the disadvantages. For example, when I came here in the beginning, I used to go to the hospital a lot because I was pregnant, and even before my pregnancy, I was going to the hospital a lot because of my abdominal pain issue. I used to use the translator during the course of my journey back and forth to the hospitals and all of that. See, some people were very eager to use the translator with me, while some were not at all interested in using the translator with me. Now tell me, if you're not able to use the translator with whoever that's going to attend to you in the bank, hospital, wherever, if they're not willing to use the translator with you, how can you transact? How can you communicate? How can you do whatever it is you've gone there to do? Absolutely, you would not be able to achieve anything that day as long as the cashier says that he's not willing to use the translator with you, or because there are people like that. While some people are very nice, are kind, patient, it doesn't make them bad people. Even if they don't want to use the translator with you, they are not interested, it doesn't make them bad people. It just simply means, I don't know, it just simply means they don't have patience, and not all of us are the same. The moment you realize that we are not all the same, then you would know that some people might use translator with you, some people might not use the translator with you. So it tells you that you need to begin to learn and try to learn fast. No matter how little the languages you need to learn. So in the course of me going, like I said, some people usually use it in the beginning. I don't use translator anymore. I speak my broken, scattered Portuguese. However, I don't care. I just speak it anyhow, even if it's took and came and where and went. I put it together, bum, bum, bum. I speak my sentences as long as you understand me. It's just like somebody speaking bad English. When somebody speaks bad English to you, to me, we the English speakers, we know, but at least we understand them, right? Exactly. Speak your broken Portuguese however you can speak it. As long as you learn to that level, that means you're already communicating. That means people can understand you, and that means you can understand people. Period. You don't need to be perfect. Learn something. Now, places where you will find people showing you signs of, making you feel like, they might not deliberately be making you feel like you're a foreigner, but because they might not want to use the translator with you, you now start remembering your destiny. Like you now start thinking, your history. Start thinking of your history. Is it because I'm a foreigner? It's not because you're a foreigner. It's just because whoever it is does not have that time or that patience to use the translator with you, and you have to accept them that way. At the end of the day, it doesn't make them bad people. It just means they cannot tolerate it. Okay, now when I used to go, I used to see people that would they'll read with me, they will make effort. Some will be so nice to a point where you'll be like, wow, you're such an amazing person, so patient. So whenever I see people like that in the beginning of my life in Brazil, when I just came, at the end of my conversation with them with my translator, when I just came, okay, I didn't speak nothing, I don't know nothing apart from bom dia, tudo bem, that's it. When I see people who take their time to attend to me, I saw a lot. I began my journey in Rio de Janeiro. In the hospitals, you see them taking their time to attend to me with a translator. They'll talk to me, they'll transact back, they'll take my phone, they'll type, I'll type back, those ones. At the end of the day, what I do is thank you so much. I write to them back, thank you so much, you're so patient and very kind. I appreciate them so well, and they feel they feel very, very happy. And I say to them, please don't stop being kind to people. You are really very kind. I always do that whenever I find people like that attend to me like that. I never forget to appreciate them, because it's not easy for somebody to just take somebody working, a cashier, a receptionist, taking their time to use the phone with you. It's not anybody's job. It's not anybody's job. Okay, so I always appreciate them and I always thank them. Now, disadvantage, I find people like that who help me, and then now I'll tell you how you might come up my disadvantages. So most of the time when my local clinic here, when I was going there in the beginning of my journey, when I moved to Sao Paulo, oh my goodness, they refused totally to use the translator with me. They were not interested, they were not ready. So I was always there, almost frustrated. But because, thank goodness, I don't have anger problems and I'm not a person that is always upset easily, so I understand that, okay, fine, we cannot all be the same, we cannot all be patient, we cannot all be kind, we cannot all be nice. So I understand that they are frustrated that I am using trans. They just want you to speak and they attend to you and then you go. That's all. They lack that patience. It doesn't make them bad, but that is who they are. And I used to understand. So that tells me that, what are you supposed to do with your head? Learn the language fast. Learn the language fast. Learn. That's it, period. So not everybody has that patience. They didn't used to, the man, the woman, none of them used to accept to use the translator with me in my local clinic. So nobody told me. I was already learning. Not that I wasn't learning, but then I had to start learning fast. I said, anyhow, I'm going to be breaking it. 1 year later, 1.5 years later, when I go there, I don't use translator anymore. I don't used to use translator anymore. And one of those days when I went back, I used to call her I forgot, auntie. I used to call her auntie in Portuguese. Now I forgot. So I call her auntie when I go there. When she looked at me, she was like, one day she looked at me, she was like, oh wow, you're not using a translator anymore. I just noticed, like, now these days whenever you come around, you don't use the translator. I'm like, how will I in my mind, I'm like continue to use the translator when you people will not answer me. I had to learn faster. Like, I was already learning, but I had to learn faster. So she was very proud of me. She was like, oh wow, like I'm not using the translator. Even recently I went to the clinic, that same clinic, the man that didn't used to accept my phone to use the translator with me, he was like, oh my god, you're speaking Portuguese. I'm like, I'll be waiting for you people now. When you people don't you people don't accept my phone, why wouldn't I learn? Anyway, that's that for that. Now, there was one situation that happened to me. I had a doctor's appointment to check for my abdominal pain thing. So I went to this doctor. Believe me, yeah, I went to this doctor, and when I got there, I couldn't speak anything. I wanted to use the phone with me. This was when I just came. Okay, I wanted to use a phone translator. Did you know this doctor refused? She was not interested. She was just talking to me. She was not interested whether I understand. I told her I cannot really understand. She didn't care. She didn't call for an interpreter. Nothing. She was just talking blah 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 blah. I told her I don't understand Portuguese. She didn't care. I brought up my phone. I wanted to type something. I showed her. She didn't want to read. Okay. Now remember I said that where you will find things like this is places like the workplaces. People outside don't really care. They might laugh and smile with you because they are not under pressure. But you see people at work, banks, hospitals, clinics, places people work that there is a lot of seriousness around. You might not see a lot of people that are patient enough to use the translator with you. It's a huge disadvantage. Now, this doctor, like I was saying, didn't want to use the translator with me. I am in extreme pain. I'm trying to explain to the doctor, this is happening to me. She wasn't listening. I typed everything on my phone. She didn't want to read. She didn't. She was just talking. At the end of the day, she didn't care if I understood. And I was making so much effort. She knew I didn't understand. At the end of the case closed, bam, bam, bam. She didn't solve my problem, and she didn't care to know whether she solved my problem or not. She just told me it's finished. We are done, we are done. So that appointment was totally a waste because the doctor was not willing to use a translator with me. She didn't care to hear me with my translator. She didn't care to understand my symptoms with my translator. She was not interested, period. Bam. And that was the end. And I left. That nothing was achieved in that appointment, and it takes a lot. It takes a long time to get appointments with doctors here in Brazil. Do you understand? So, but anyway, I had to leave, and nothing was solved on that day. Now, for example, another disadvantage. Let's assume you are sick, and then you have let's say, God forbid, you have like an emergency. You're having a heart attack. You think you have to call the paramedics. When you call, how do you talk to them? These are the more. I'm trying to explain why it is important you need to learn the language. Apart from the fact that people in different sectors, banks, even when I go to banks, when I go to banks, you'll see some people not willing to use the translator with you. You'll see people making faces, like that, making faces like they are uncomfortable to use the translator. I've seen all the things I'm talking about. I've seen it happen. Some are so nice, they use it with you, and then I thank them so well. And some are not even just ready, especially in work sectors. There are a whole lot of them there. The nice ones are there, the very not nice ones are there. So you have to accept the both, because it is normal if you live in a country where you don't speak their language. It doesn't make anybody bad. It is a normal encounter. You must encounter it. Okay, you see. So anyway, back to me talking about the paramedics and all of. Let's say you have an emergency and you want to call for help. You want to call the paramedics and tell them, oh, you have an emergency, heart attack. How do you explain yourself? Even if eventually somehow the paramedics, they come, when they're asking you what's wrong, how do you explain what's wrong to them? What do you want to say? How do you want to say it? How can they understand you? Language is important. Now, for somebody like me, I have been through the CT scan thing like multiple times, even here in Brazil. The machine talks in language. Let's assume you're being scanned by a machine, and the machine is telling you what to do. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and it's gonna say one or two things here and there. How do you understand what the machine is saying? The machine is giving you instructions on what to do. If you don't understand the language, how do you understand what the machine is telling you to do? And the operator cannot leave her duty or his duty to come and tell you this is what the machine is saying. And even if she wants to tell you, you can still not understand her because she speaks the language same as the machine speaks. So at the end of the day, it is very important that you just learn the language of the country, even if it's the basics. Okay? So in other situations too, your children's school, you will need to speak to the principal, speak to the teacher. You will need to read your child's diaries, because they do write things. They write things for you to know about your child, about your child's day. You need to read all those things. They are different things that you need to learn the language. As in, there are so many reasons why you need to learn the language. There are so many more disadvantages that I have encountered, but then I'm going to stop here because I don't want this video to be too long. There are so many things. Even if you're doing your PR, your citizenship, there are so many things you need to read, many papers you need to read. Sometimes you get emails, you get this, you get that, you are not able to communicate. Nobody's able to communicate with you. Just learn the language. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop here. There are many more disadvantages, but I don't face them anymore like that because I can speak a little now. But there are so many disadvantages that I'm not even talking about right here on this video because I don't want it to be too long. Okay, so but for real, you will, especially in workplaces, places where people are working, banks, different firms, hospitals, you will find people that are nice and willing to use it with you, but you also find people that are not just willing to listen, and that appointment is over. And some people get extremely angry that you can't even speak their language, and they'll be asking them, so what are you doing here? They might not ask you verbally. They might be wondering, what are you doing here if you cannot speak our language? They just expect you to speak. For example, in France, before I end this video, in France, I hear that if you don't speak the language, you don't speak. They don't care. Some of them can even speak English, but they will not speak English with you. They will not speak your language with you. They will want you to speak in that language, that you are French. Whether you understand, you don't understand, they just continue to do whatever they're doing. They'll continue to talk to you in that same French. I heard some people told me that in France, they don't accept any other thing. You must speak French. And also somebody told me, even in Italy, it doesn't make them bad people. I don't know, they just believe that you are here. What if you if you don't know how to speak our language? Why did you come to our country? That's why you should learn fast, so that people like that will not rubbish you, okay? So that you're able to integrate, communicate fast enough. I also hear that in Germany it's the same. People are not willing to speak any language out of their comfort zone. They are willing to only speak the language they know. Yeah, if it is in Nigeria, now Nigerians always welcome foreigners, you know, sweetly, warmly. They would even help you and all of that. So Nigerians take care of foreigners more than their own people too. But I believe it's supposed to be both ways. They should take care of their people. They should take care of foreigners as well. But anyway, Nigerians love foreigners more than themselves. But in Brazil, Brazil loves themselves and they also love foreigners. It's both ways from Brazil. Anyway, this is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, put it down in the comment section below. If you also have contributions to all I've said so far, you can also put it down in the comment section below. I'll definitely be there to respond to you. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, everybody. Bye.